Hello everyone. This is going to be a somewhat different stream than usual, I suppose, isn't it? It's the first time I'll be streaming myself using Unity, so that'll be interesting. Hopefully everything goes fine. How's the audio, by the way? Is it okay? It should be okay, I think. I can be heard fairly well. Music's not too quiet. But I suppose the music still needs to be more quiet than the game audio itself. There's also that, but yeah, it's gonna be weird. Alright, let's go ahead and boom. Alright. So last night, or was it last night? It was yesterday, I just don't remember if it was that night. I think it was around noon or something. I released the TF2 Unity video talking about what this project is all about. If you aren't familiar with what I'm doing right now, I would recommend you check that video out. Actually, I think I will link that video in chat right now, just so that people can go to it if you haven't seen it yet. 1 second. Here we are. Well, yeah, so if you aren't familiar with this project, feel free to take a look at that video that goes over the general concepts and plans regarding this project. And not long after I released that video and the devlog on my other channel, someone pointed me to a resource, a plugin for Blender that lets me actually import in everything with the import everything in the map. Okay, so in the original build, there was only map geometry with displacements and map brushes. That just basically means it's just full screen. Hello? Shut up. You can see that the map geometry is pretty much just the terrain and some like the basic geometry of the walls and stuff. There's no props or models anywhere. It's literally just the map geometry, terrain, and simple brushes and stuff. But there actually exists a tool for Blender to actually import maps directly, import actual VMF Hammer map files from source engine games to import literally everything that's in the map, including lights as well. Like, you can import all the lights. Hence why there's all these lights everywhere now. I still need to do a lot of work regarding them because they're still pretty rough looking, but that's what I'm going to be doing for now. At the start of the stream, I'll be working on the lights for a bit, seeing what I can do to make them look better. Probably won't get that done by today or anything. That's definitely a thing I'll be working on as I develop this throughout the entire thing, because there will be a lot of tuning regarding the visuals and performance, because I could just make every single light source, and there's about 200 lights in Badwater. If I turn every single light into a dynamic light that casts shadows and stuff, it would tank the frame rate. I don't want that. So I have to figure out the best way to have all the lights present while keeping visual fidelity acceptable, while also not tanking performance. So, yeah. Alright, so let me answer the question. Will there be a Discord server for this project? I want there to be. Yes, I want there to be. However, I don't want to create one right now and make it public until I have people to help me moderate it. And honestly, I don't know who I can ask to help me with that at the moment, because I don't really know anyone within the TF2 community, really. I've been pretty isolated from it. I've been playing the game for ages, but I've been pretty alone regarding people I know with the game and all that. So there's no one I can just ask. So I just kind of have to see if there are people I find as I develop the game. Like if I meet people, and they happen to be decent or decent candidates as a person that can moderate a server, I might consider that again. But yeah, I do want there to be a server though. That would be nice to have. That'd be convenient for everyone. I just want to be the only one moderating it. Especially if it gets popular. I don't know how popular this project's going to get, because I know TF2 has a really, really loyal and not necessarily huge following, but it's fairly big, right? So, anyway. First things first, I need to rebake the lighting. Actually, hold on. There's a bug I wanted to fix first. Before I started the stream, I found a bug regarding deflection from surfaces. Basically, that just means redirection of velocity when you hit a surface. So if I rocket jump up to the ceiling, it's gonna behave very strangely. Very, very strangely. It's not ideal. Because I tweaked some code earlier and I completely screwed something up, so I need to fix that again. So yeah, should be in. Where's the surface physics? Here it is. It's right here. Creating new maps in Unity. The thing is, I don't consider myself a map designer. If I made a map, I'd probably be doing a pretty bad job. Probably. So I don't know. That's not gonna be my thing, I don't think. That didn't look strange to you? Okay, let me explain why that is strange. So when I rocket jump straight up, I just move straight up like this, right? Let me do that in the open. I just move straight up. But when I hit this surface, I guess you'd expect me to deflect off of it at an angle. However, just pay attention to the speed I move at once I hit the ceiling. I just go flying. And that's because the deflection script isn't reading the ceiling properly to actually change my velocity properly, if that makes any sense. So I need to fix that. Let's see. I need to think about this. Ideally, I should have fixed this before I started streaming, because coding isn't necessarily the most an entertaining thing to stream, but I guess that's kind of unavoidable when it comes to game development, right? But, alright. Let me think about this. So the surface normal on this ceiling. Stop it. Light rocket jumps. I'm getting like 0.8, negative 0.8. I'm looking at the bottom left corner of the screen for the debug information for the here. Yeah, it's like just around negative 0.9. Okay. You know, honestly, hold up. Let me get rid of this stuff that I added before, and let me see how this behaves again. I just want to be sure I'm not crazy. And make sure I know how this works properly. Thank you. Thanks for reminding me. I need to turn on slow mode. I literally have to do this because every time I don't and forget to turn this on, chat just becomes a spam fest. Doesn't matter how many people are watching the stream. Fixing that one. There you go. Yeah, it's been a while since I streamed. It's been like a month. Took a bit of a break as the new year rolled around, so. Anyway. Back to this. Alright, that's already saved. Yep, we're good there. So the expected behavior, assuming this is going to work properly now, is this. When I hit the ceiling, I just deflect a little bit, but I don't like gain a ton of speed and just go flying up there. Should be like that. But the main reason I need this code here is so that I can't surf. I'll explain what surfing is in a second, but I can't surf on very, very steep slants. Because right now, without that code in place, I can just surf on this slightly slanted player clip wall that's slightly slanted. Ideally, I should not be able to surf on here. I should be able to just slide right down like this. But if I hold towards the slants, I just surf on top of it. And surfing, to explain what that is in context of like the source engine and stuff, it's essentially what allows you to stick to slanted walls. And it's actually kind of hard to explain now that I think about it. How should I explain this? So, right here, there's an invisible wall that's slightly slanted. It's slanted like this, just about. And when you move towards that slant, you sort of move up it, or like... You have like an added force that makes you move up towards it, I suppose. But the main idea of the code I'm implementing is so that if the slope is steep enough, that surf code shouldn't turn on. It should just not let you do that. So if I save this code... and go back there, then I shouldn't be able to surf on that steep slope anymore. Oh, there we go. Yeah, slide right off. So that's the idea. I just need to make it so it doesn't affect slopes that are negative, which means, you know, a ceiling. I forgot to account for ceilings. Just gonna have to bear with me for a minute here, because coding isn't necessarily my forte, so I have to think a lot to try to understand what I need to change to make this not affect ceiling deflection. I should do something like this instead, maybe. I have to format it like this because I don't know the best way to format the code for this, but and make sure it's above 0. And I have to do the same over here. Ugh. Yeah, the code's going to be pretty ugly here if I do it like this, but I don't know the best way to format the if statement to account for all that. This is why I need coding help. Formatting's always going to be pretty bad. So I'll get rid of this. Make sure you are above 0. Alright, let's test this out. So we need to test the ceiling and also need to make sure the I need to make sure the surfing is still not possible on that slant. Ah, we're good. Nice. Cool. Bug fixed. Now we remake the lighting. So first I need to set all the lights to, let me put this over here. Need to select all the lights real quick. Because the main problem with the baked lighting I have right now is the lights don't cast shadows in the baked lighting at the moment. So you can just see light bleeding right through the wall, which is not good for the baked lighting. So I need to turn the shadows back on for the baked lighting here. And let's go ahead and clear the generated lighting and rebake it. So without baked lighting, the map is going to look very, very plain. And there's a very good reason why you want to bake lights in your scene. You'll see once it's done deleting the assets. There you go. The lighting is a lot more simple. The only form of shading is honestly just the post-processing of the ambient occlusion. If I turn off post-processing, then everything's going to even be more flat. So, yeah. Rebake lighting. Now with shadows. This will take a minute. I have it at a fairly low resolution, so it's not going to take too long. I have a pretty good GPU to calculate it on, so shouldn't be too bad. Like a minute or so. You can see the progress bar on the bottom right. Why did I pick Soldier first? Because his movement is very important to the game, I suppose, right? Soldier is one of the most universally used classes, the most useful class, because of how flexible he is. He's a very, very good generalist. And, hold on, let me get a cup here. And generally, rocket jumping is a fairly important aspect of Team Fortress 2. So that's something you'd want to get right first. One of the first things you want to get right in a TF2-like game is to get the explosive jumping right. Don't worry, I have some MLP songs on the playlist. You can hear them right now. Okay. So light bleeding is now gone. Well, that's not the right term, but yeah, the light phasing through the wall and lighting this area up is no longer happening. And of course, the lighting being low resolution, you see artifacts like this everywhere, every once in a while. So once I start making high resolutions, that's not going to be happening. So yeah. So the next thing I need to figure out regarding how Unity does lighting is how to get the dynamic lights that isn't just the sun. So you can see the sun actually influences the lighting of the model, right? But if I let me go into a brighter light source actually, so I can actually show this better. You can see that the lighting in this room doesn't affect the lighting of this model at all. Don't mind the camera facing to a wall, by the way. That's something I'll be fixing later, but... yeah, you can see the color and the brightness of the model doesn't change whether or not I'm inside or outside in the shadow of the sun. It stays exactly the same because these lights are baked lights. They aren't dynamic lights. While I could make them dynamic lights, I could. And I have. But it tanks the frame rate because I can't have that many dynamic lights in the scene at once without tanking performance. That's just how game engines work in real time. You can't just tell the game to render everything that makes the lighting more convincing. You have to find your way around these limitations while keeping your performance in check. That's the entire idea of that. Alright. I don't need here. I need to go here. So what I want to try doing, I already have some of this laid out, but there's a system called light probes. I need to turn on a gizmo for that, right? Yeah, light probes. I have this entire room set up with light probes right now, and I need to see what I can do to bake this, because I haven't tried baking it yet. But I think light probes will help light up the model in the room without actually using a dynamic light, because dynamic lights are very, very computationally expensive, while light probes aren't. Because, you know, I can't really even explain that, to be honest. I don't even think I fully understand why, but they're just not nearly as computationally expensive. Because it's all baked. It's not calculating lighting every frame. It's all baked into the light probes and blends between them when you walk close to one of the light probes. So I just need to get it working because it's not currently on. I think. Let me see here. I might need to look up a way of how to do this, because I haven't really done this yet before. Let me see here. It might be in this menu somewhere. Light probes. All right. Let's see. I should probably look up how to do this. Let's see, hold on. Reflection probes are a different thing. These are, those are different for, specular reflections. This is not specular. So there's, that. Is that what I was trying to do? It says it's legacy now. That's weird. Has light probes changed too? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think that's what it was referring to there. Yeah, hold on, let me look this up real quick. Give me a second here. Researching on stream is never ideal. I try to avoid that when I can, but considering the fact that Unity is not as familiar to me as Blender is, it's kind of unavoidable. Let me put this on the main monitor here. See what I'm looking at. I'm not even sure what you're referring to in the Halloween map. And event maps in general is not a priority for me to port over. It's not a priority. That's like after I've done all the main important things will I ever consider doing like the event versions of maps and stuff. So, or any sort of holiday events or extra game mode or what have you. Gonna stick to like the primary aspect of the game first. The most popular maps in each game mode is probably what I want to plan on doing. So like Payload will have Badwater Upward. 5CP might have that 5CP is kind of a weird one because there's always in competitive there's gonna be Sunshine and Process, right? But not every casual player likes that, so I might and I don't know. I haven't come up with a full list of that yet. And of course, that's only the like the main game modes. Bar CTF probably, because CTF is kind of a wacky game mode that isn't really taken too seriously these days, because it doesn't really work that well. And it's probably not worth my time until later on. I want to focus on the game modes that actually work. Not to say I won't plan on doing that, it's just not a priority. Anyway. Let's see. Seems like this light probe system should just work once you hit bake lighting, but I'm not seeing its effects, to be honest. They don't seem to be doing much, if anything, so I must have not configured something properly. Yeah, the lighting's not changing for the model itself. It's all dull. Nothing. Let me actually... It could be something to do with my shader for the TF2 model. It's using a custom shader. I might not have light probes built into the shader to actually support that. So in that case, let me... add a 3D object that is using the default material. And I just want to be sure that the lighting of this sphere is also changing as it should. It actually is, I think. Yeah. So light probes are working, I think. Okay, so I need to... Okay, this is a shader problem then, not a light probe issue. Not sure what I'm going to do with direct specular light, though, but it's all going to be weird. This whole system of lighting these rooms. But anyway, let me go ahead and take this sphere to a different place that doesn't have light probe set up, and I just want to see what happens around there. Like in this little garage here, yep. Without light probes, it's just completely dark. Okay. So if I give Soldier a different material, oh god, let's hide that. Actually, let me just change this to standard. So lighting on a standard material with default shaders should actually react to the lighting changes. Yeah, it does. So I need to look into the amplify shader to figure that out. This doesn't appear anymore. Good there. There's probably just a node for it, right? There isn't. Some form of indirect light. So let me just put this here. See if this probe does that. Probably does. I think it's doing that right now. Yeah. So I just need to put in that node somewhere. Let's see. No, I'm not doing that. No. No. So let's figure out where to inject this node. Indirect diffuse light. So we have indirect specular. Then we need a indirect. Okay, so I do have it. It's right here. It's just not doing anything? Why is that? I need to troubleshoot now. It's already here. That's a node that I just brought in and actually is doing the job it should be. So it's adding that. So let me check it here. I'm going to work my way down the steps of the nodes and see what's happening. So light attenuation doesn't affect it at all indoors. So multiplying with color, there's potential data loss there in multiplication. So what happens here? I did not save the shader. Save it. Light color doesn't affect it negatively. So yeah, just keep working our way up the nodes and figure out where we lose this data and see if there's any way we can keep that from happening. So there's another multiplication here on the light warp. This is probably where we lose the data, right? Oh, the node actually didn't connect, did it? It's probably because I didn't save when I hit play, right? But it shouldn't. I think it's the light warp causing that to not to work. Yeah. It's still working with light color multiplied in. The light warp is suspect. It needs to be moved up somewhere, probably, because it's not going to work now. Exactly as I thought. Alright. So the solution is to move this up. Make it add to everything after... Yeah, okay. So put this here. And we're going to move this up. To here. And see if this solves the problem. Those lines in the ceiling? What lines? I'm not sure what you're talking about. I don't see any lines other than the actual, like, geometry of the wood supports of the roof, but yeah, anyway. There we go. Now we have indirect lights. Or indirect diffuse light. That's good. Eventually I'll have to do indirect light probes as well, which is not as cheap because it has to be a lot more crystal clear because it has to be an actual reflection, right? So there's more data to store, more data to work with than just very smooth diffuse light. But yeah, lighting now affects the model, even though the light in this room is not dynamic, which is good. So now that I know that that works, I need to start placing light probes around the entire map. And that might take a bit, so sit down and strap in. Graphic coding? So you just mean nodes in general, right? I mean, nodes have existed forever, and I don't think Unreal or Unity did that first. I'm pretty sure Blender had that before either of the... I don't know about Unity. Okay, I'm not sure how long Unreal has had nodes, but Blender has had them for ages, like forever. Since like 2011, 2012, when Cycles came out, I think, is when they were introduced. And I know, like, the Autodesk software probably had them for even longer, like Maya or 3ds Max, probably. So, yeah. No, all the assets, all the model assets right now that are in this level, and the soldier himself too, is all ported from TF2. I did not make anything here. Every model, piece of geometry is from the original game. Everything. Except the hands, I suppose, right? The hands are the Source Filmmaker version of the hands, which is more higher fidelity than the hands in the base game. So you take a look at the hands. You can see the hands are way less detailed in TF2 today, in the actual game. But the Source Filmmaker hands are way better. But otherwise, the Source Filmmaker model is pretty much the same. It's just the hands. So where should I should just work my way, branching away from this area where I already started the light probes. So let's do that. See if I can remember how to actually... Right, I need to hit this button first. Then, okay. Whew. That's a lot of visual noise. Is there a better way to show? I can hide the wireframe. Is that it? Dang, okay. Guess that's how I'll be working. Eventually, props like this that are dynamic will will not be part of the baked system at all. But right now they're considered static, so they will be baked. That's fine. I can change that later once I actually start scripting things to start moving. I'm pretty sure nodes were introduced to Blender when Blender Cycles was introduced, which was around 2011, 2012, I think, somewhere around there. If you don't know what this project is that I'm doing right now, I uploaded a video on this project yesterday. You can watch that video here, I just linked it in chat. If you want to know more about this project, I recommend watching that video first. In fact, I'll add it to the description. That's probably something I should have done. Now it's added to the description. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Now light probes need to be right against the ceiling here on the other side. Okay. Don't know why it stopped hitting there. Once you get higher up and away from dynamic lights, the density of light probes doesn't need to be as intense. So you don't need to stack them too much up here. In fact, I could also let's see. I wonder if there's a way to group these so I don't have to see all these dots all at once. It certainly is obnoxious to see all that. Hold on. It probably is a group system. I just need to make a new... Yeah, I just need to make a new asset for it, right? So... I will duplicate this. This first one can just stick to what's in here, in this little room. then I can do the opposite for this other one, this other copy. Yeah, this is much better. I can hit edit. That's gonna be hard to remember. There's no visual indication of whether or not I'm in the edit mode, so it's a little weird. Unity's not very good at that, I suppose. Cool. Is Unity mobile compatible? Yes, but this project I'm doing isn't targeting mobile hardware. I don't plan to optimize the game that much to run on your phone. I'm pretty sure I'd have to make a lot of cutbacks to the visual fidelity to make that happen. And even then, it's probably not going to play well on phones, so I'm not even going to bother. Nope, not like I said. I'm not adding it to phones. Don't plan to. I'm just simplifying my light probes at the moment. Okay. Just start from scratch and add detail if I need it somewhere. Can I make these bigger? Yeah, I can. Good to see that the wireframe is still forming to the other group. Wasn't sure if that was gonna happen, but I'm pretty sure it's built for that, so that's good. Probably gonna need probes all around the door. Okay. No, I should not do that. Gotta move away from the roof a little bit. I want to look at player clip actually. Light probes won't be as important once the invisible walls that surround the map. Once the probes reach the invisible walls, I mean. Where's the probes? It's down here. So I suppose I should just have these here for now. And the density of them can go way down as well. Is there anything in here? No, that's fine. Probably. Am I animating? No. I might later today with first person animations, but right now I'm placing a bunch of light probes, and it's gonna be a little bit before I consider done. I can't talk. It'll be a while before I consider myself done, or at least done for now. I may or may not get all this done today. We'll see, but it is a decent amount of work to do. Is there a tool for that? It would be nice to have a starting point that's automated, and then I can like refine it later, I suppose, maybe. Because there is a lot of square feet to cover, or square cubes. God, I can't talk. Feet square cubes. God, math, my head. It's 3 dimensions. It's not 2-dimensional. Not covering a floor. It's covering every dimension. Big old brain fart there. Yeah. What is that tool? Probably should have looked into that. It's probably something that I should have expected there to be a tool to help make that more automated. Let me see. Found one on Google, but it is apparently not up anymore. Let's see. Also, keep in mind, if you try to link something in chat, YouTube's going to automatically block it, and I won't be able to see it at all. So if you intend to show me what it is, you have to name the add-on, or name the asset, or whatever it is, instead of linking it. Is this it? I'd assume so. Yeah. Let's take a look here. I'm gonna just put these files in the project folder, I think. Maybe that's not where I'm supposed to put it. Doesn't say. Is there a specific place I have to put this? Hold on. Hold on a minute. Is this project going to be open source? I don't know. Depends. I'm not going to decide that right at the moment. Okay, here it is. Yeah. Okay. Guess I'll have to do it manually. I'm not going to bother trying something I haven't tried before in terms of installing it, but okay, I got it. Let's see, I have to go here. Give me a minute, guys. Gotta tinker with some things in my project folder here. I'm not sure if I need to reboot the Unity runtime, but let's see. Oh, here's an error here. Let's see. I already edited the JSON file. It should be formatted correctly. So I should just reboot it then. Okay. Yeah, I'm just following. I can't talk today. I'm sorry. I'm just following the legacy instructions because I'm not gonna bother trying out a new installer on stream right now. I'm not gonna bother. Try it some other time if I run into that again. Let's see. What do we have here? This JSON file should be correct. Comma is not there since it's the last one. Let me just put it in front then. Let's just see what happens. I feel like it just should be working though. Not the comma now. Retry. Nope. It should be right? That's what I added into the JSON file, and it just should be working. So I don't know if there's a different problem somewhere with adding this. I could have named one of the directories incorrectly. That could be the case, maybe. Local packages. That's spelled correctly. Okay. Oh, let me try this. Does that work? Hold up. That was the wrong place to put that. It's still not picking up. It's looking for a package JSON file, right? So, where is that? Yeah, it should just be right here. Ew, hold up. Okay. No, I got it. The file structure was incorrect. Did that work? I think I got it this time. Okay, we're good. We're good. Yep. I don't know why on earth people would want to play a game like this on a phone. I'll never understand the appeal of playing complex games such as this on a phone, of all things. I will never get that. Background test. That's nothing to be warned about my animations, it's fine. Okay. Well, let's hide this stuff for now. Even though it's still showing up. Okay, whatever. So let's take a look. My prep volume. Okay, so let me see here. So we just have a box, and I'm assuming it just places a bunch of probes within it. Why is there only one on top? Let's see. Undoing does not work for this. Horizontal spacing, vertical spacing opposite, number of layers. Just tinkering with this tool, figuring out how it works. Give me a minute here. That's weird. Let me try changing the spacing. Ah, there we go. Okay. Got it. Okay. Now I'm curious what will happen if I just place it around the entire map all at once. I expect results that are not ideal. I know that. I just want to know what happens. Kind of can't tell where the level is of this since it's so big. Kind of wish the gizmo was a bit more solid, but I'm not sure if that's even possible. I don't know. Guess I'll have to work with that. This is really gonna be messy. I can't wait. Save before I go further. Okay, there's probably a limit I'm reaching here. No valid hits for no valid hits. What the heck does that mean? feel like it's airing out because of how big the volume is. I'm probably going to have to, of course, just make the volume for like each section of the map. That's probably what I'm going to have to do. I expected that. I just wanted to see what happens if I tried doing the whole thing at once. And it doesn't even seem to be working. Are those light bulbs over here? What are they doing over here? What? So if I have follow floor off, then it works. So I'm assuming it's trying to find a floor that's like beneath the volume. Is that what's happening? Huh. Well, anyway, let's bring this in. Let's stop messing around. Really wish this gizmo was not just a wireframe. Move up, actually. I should probably look up a better way of using this. Let's see here. I have a hunch that the volume is still too big. Let me just get this area with the card. Okay. Now what happens here? Move out of the hit? Come on. Seems incredibly finicky, not gonna lie. Can't really tell why it's airing now. Other than the fact that it's set to follow the floor. but it's... Okay, now it's placing them only here. What? This is very bizarre. That's just the offsets. It's just having trouble finding the floor, right? I don't know. Check the trouble section. Let's see. Yep, they're both... All of my geometry is static. I know that. All this stuff. This is static. Everything. And they all have a mesh collider. So... Yeah, I don't... That's all there is in the trouble section, is just to see if it's static and if there's a collider, and that's it. That's not a huge help. Missing the clutter at once? Never mind, okay. Yeah, that's... I seem to be set up properly. I mean, I wouldn't be able to walk on this terrain in-game right now if there was a... no collider anywhere. As you can tell, I'm just walking on it just fine. I haven't tried the skill jump yet in this new version. So I'm gonna have to change the geometry, right? Yeah, I need to extrude that. We'll address that later. Well, I think I'll just go back to placing manually if this is just going to be this finicky. I don't want to waste too much of my time just troubleshooting something that isn't working. Spawn a simple 2D box, make it static, and give it a box collider. A 2D box? Do you just mean a plane then? Or... what do you mean by a 2D box? I don't know. Just a 2D box collider for like a 2D game? Why would I need that if that's what you mean? What are the yellow dots for? What's the best way I can visualize what's going on with them? Let's see. So if you look at these light probes, me see if I can hide the wireframe for them. No? Looks like I might need to actually move the light probes away from them a little bit more, but anyway, you can see these spheres at each node. Each sphere represents the lighting condition in that area. And whenever the model is around any of these spheres, it's going to blend in between each sphere for the indirect diffuse lighting. Pretty much. It's just going to blend between, like, the soldier's in between these four, right? These four spheres. And it's going to blend in between each one for the lighting conditions in this room. I just need to touch up the positions of these light probes because they're just too close to the wall and the floor. Can I unparent you, please? Unparent. Stop. Finicky. Move you over here. Why on earth do you have a light probe injected in here? What is going on? Why? Okay. Kind of just being weird there. Why not? Why is there a probe attaching to this cube? That doesn't make any sense to me. What? I don't know what to say about that. Not a clue. It was not happening before, I think. No valid hit still. I don't know what's going on with that. It just seems too finicky for me. You make it static? Right. Yeah. Fair enough. Oh, still. I did mark it as static, but now I did. It's still not working. Finicky as in not reliable. It's not doing what I want it to do. And I don't want to rely on something that's this unreliable. That's the word. Nathan, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop now, otherwise I will ban you. I'm not even... Are you the same Nathan from, like, last month? Causing a bunch of trouble. I don't really appreciate that. You gotta stop now. Oh, yeah, I can see that these microbes have issues. Get away from the stairs. Okay, okay. Don't use blunder shortcuts. Are these two light probes right here? Oh man. Whoa. Did the instant just get higher or something? Or did I accidentally duplicate, or what happened here? Or was it already like this? I don't remember. Yeah, I think I just have a too high density or something. Click the arrow and what? Okay. Please stay in this room. I can't scale? That's fine. I honestly don't need this many light probes up here. Thin it out. Why are the arrows so hard to click? Ugh. Makes trying to move things around really annoying. Steps. What'd I do? It's moving in steps now. Must have clicked something on accident. What hotkey was this? No hotkey. Okay. Actually, before I move on too far, let me double check the spacing here on this one. Okay, not like that. Just gotta move things away from the surface a little bit more. You say that without considering how well the game's even going to play on a mobile device. A game like TF2 doesn't play well like that. It's too complicated. You can only do so much with a touchscreen only. Yeah, this is my first stream of the year. Yeah. The grid is helpful and all, but it is also just visually noisy and obnoxious at the same time, and I don't like it. So much information, and you can't read any of it because it's just the sheer density of lines. Ugh. I'm not saying from a technical aspect. I'm talking about from a playability aspect. TF2 is a far too complicated, fast-paced game to work on just a touchscreen alone. There's too many things about the game for that to work. No. I mean, if it's a playable game that supports controllers on a phone, then perhaps, but I wouldn't want the game to work with just a touchscreen alone. That's just too simple of an input method for a game that's as complex as TF2. That I can't see it happening, realistically speaking. Alright. 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Alright, I'm back. Alright. That's exactly what I'm saying. There's too many inputs in a game like TF2 for you to manage. And trying to translate those controls to a touch screen is unrealistic. I don't think it's something you should be wanting. It's not a good way to play the game. Why would it be? It'd be cool to see TF2 on the go, I suppose, right? It's a cool concept. Like maybe seeing TF2 on the Switch or something. However, that might not happen, obviously, given the fact that this is kind of just a fan game project, not like a real thing. But trying to make a game for just a phone to work on a touchscreen like this, no. The control method is the issue here, not the technical aspect of the graphics or whatnot. That could probably be manageable. Unity has tools to help simplify the graphics in a way that can work for mobile platforms. I have to like change all the shaders to mobile shaders to make it very simply shaded and stuff, but the controls is what I'm hung up on, and I'm not going to bother with that. I'm not saying you can like half-ass a bunch of ways to control the game and then just make a quick gameplay demo of it. I'm talking about actual controls that plays while you're in a match and how responsive and how reliable they are while you're playing against other people. If they're just showing a video of them just showing off a demo of the game running on their phone, that's whatever. Who cares? The controls could be as bad as, as bad as whatever. The controls could be really, really bad, and you might not know it, just because you're just looking at a quick demo, right? All right. I'm not being that quick to judge. I've had this opinion about mobile games and their controls for the longest time. Mobile games with complex controls on a touchscreen just doesn't work well. That's just how it is. That's not a quick judgment. I've had that opinion forever. For ages. I'm just applying that right now. Again. Maybe has some ways to compress the game. Compression is not the issue, really. It's about the simplification of graphics. I don't think you know what you're talking about. I swear, you keep talking about things you don't know what you're talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, you really need to just watch your mouth. I think. You say things as if you know exactly what you're talking about, but so clear that you don't. Okay. I hit Control B on accident for build. That's not what I wanted. Control V and Control B are right next to each other. Yikes. Don't want this hotkey. Can I... There. Okay, got rid of that hotkey. Okay. So the video saw had simple controls. Okay, so what was sacrificed? What can you not do on that touchscreen now that you have these very simple input methods? TF2 has way too many inputs for that to be reasonable. TF2's basic controls, you have WSD for, basic movement. So you have your analog control probably on touchscreen. You need a crouch button, you need a jump button, you need a shoot button, you need a secondary right-click button. You probably need a middle mouse button too for medic. What else? You need voice commands, probably. You definitely need a medic call button. That's definitely priority 1, but you also probably want other voice line menu options. You need a weapon switch option. You might need a reload button. However, you could probably get away with auto reload in TF2, to be honest. What else am I missing? Spy disguise kit and build menus. How the heck are you going to do that on a mobile platform reliably? Like, you need to be able to pick a class, which I suppose you can just have a touchscreen menu for that. Need a way to change the team of class you want to disguise as. There's so many things. It's gonna overcomplicate the touchscreen controls. There's gonna be so many buttons on screen you can't even see what you're looking at on screen, probably. Like, there's just, you can get rid of all that, but then you just reduce the playability of the game because you just don't have as much options as you probably should in a game like TF2. Well, nothing was sacrificed? I very much don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. There's the possibility of Valve claiming or taking down this project is fairly low, considering they usually are fine with any sort of fan game or any sort of iteration of their game through mods or fan games, whatever. Like they seem fairly okay with stuff like that. Like they've always been. Not to say they wouldn't potentially do it. It's just the likelihood is I just don't see it being that high. Especially since I'm not making this game for profit or anything. The game's gonna be free for everyone to try out once I'm done with it. Or done with when I am at a stage where people can play it, I should say. This is probably never gonna be complete. Necessarily. TF2 could work on console too, to be honest. The main reason the Xbox 360 and PS3 version of TF2 are really clunky today is just the control design on the controller was not designed that well. The user interface works very doesn't work very well. If you think like the Spider Sakai's kit and build menus for the engineer is really clunky on PC, try doing that on console. It's very, very awkward. That's where the pie menu comes in to help simplify that kind of stuff. I plan to have that on this version too. Like I have the pie menu implemented for the communication wheel already. But I'll also have that for like the Spy Disguise kit and the engineer build menus. Pie menus are generally really easy to implement for both PC and console, and they work fairly well for both. And the way they did the menus in TF2 back on the consoles in 2007 is not great. Very, very clunky. And there could also be other ways to streamline the controls for console to make certain things like rocket jumping more easy to do, like a button to make your aim reverse and aim down or something, so you can quickly aim down below you, behind you, and rocket jump quickly on a controller with an analog stick, which is normally not very easy to do with an analog stick, for example, you know? Things like that. There are ways to make TF2 playable on console with a controller. It's just never been tried. Or not tried well. Yeah, I saw the comment. I'm not sure. Hold on. Oh, I didn't see the second one. Okay. So resizing the game object itself didn't change the box collider then? Is that what was going on? Yeah, the movements right now in this build is pretty dang close to base TF2. There's still some things like surfing that isn't there yet. There is code to handle surfing. It's more about how to, like in this example script that I have for the movement that I use as a basis to start off with the developing the movement system. There is a surfing script, right? It's just how do I implement it in the same way that the source engine did, to make it so that you could like surf up small ramps like this when you move at a high velocity without actually like landing on it and stopping completely. That I don't know how to handle yet. There's probably math behind that I don't understand or how to replicate from the original game. But other than that, the feel of like the movement is pretty close. Rocket jumping is pretty much identical in terms of the damage you take and the knockback and receive based on where the rocket explosion is placed relative to you and how far you are away from it, things like that. Oh yeah, I have the colliders hidden, don't I? That's why I'm going through that. I was wondering why. I can fix that easily. Air strafing is in, like, pretty much 1-to-1. Like, I think air strafing is probably perfect. There's nothing I need to change about that. Yeah, colliders are hidden. You're not supposed to stand up here. Yeah. The main thing I need to really get working is the map design, or the map itself, like all the lighting, the objectives, the scripting for all the classes, damage, what's the word? A damage model, and the way to handle multiplayer. The movement is already pretty much solved, except for surfing, really. Yeah, the TF2 version, I'm sorry, the Xbox 360 and PS3 version of TF2 was always sort of I can never think of the word. I can't talk today. It's been a while since I've talked on the stream, I suppose. It's been like a month. It's the neglected version, I guess. The neglected version of TF2, because it never really received any updates the PC version did. If you play TF2 on the Xbox 360 right now, if you get the orange box on the Xbox 360 and launch it, it's pretty much how TF2 was at release date in 2007. And I should know, I have it. I have the 360 version. It's on my shelf over there, right? Yeah, I can even show it. Is my camera plugged in? I don't think it is. Whoops. Let's see if this works. Okay, yeah, here it is. I had to plug in my camera, sorry about that, but yeah. Xbox 360 version of the orange box, and has TF2 on it. It is quite a special version of the game. It's like a time capsule to the past. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the exact, like, acceleration rates based off of how you, turn in the air with this code that I have. I might need to talk to someone regarding how air acceleration works in TF2 specifically to make it more fine-tuned to how it is. But to someone like me, while I don't consider myself an expert on the technical aspects behind air strafing and stuff, in TF2 specifically, it sure feels pretty dang close. Exact angles depend on the class. Is that really true? Is it just because they move at a different base speed when they're grounded? They have to, like, start off differently or something? Or... still very finicky? Yeah, okay. I think I'll just keep placing light probes manually. I don't mind. Like, it's busy work. It gets me doing something. As long as I keep doing it, it gets done pretty quick. Like, it's a whole entire map. It shouldn't... It's not like it's meant to take no time at all. It's gonna take some time. It's gotta power through it. I just wish it wasn't such a visual mess to look at. It's so hard to look at. Oh god. No. Light probe's too close. I wish clicking this arrow wasn't so hard. I'm just trying to move it and I just keep clicking off of it slightly. Obnoxious. I'm scrolling up and seeing your comments, Nathan. I'm still surprised you're talking about something you clearly don't know what you're talking about. Like, you don't know anything about this topic. You just assume that it will work because you think it'll work. That's not good logic. At all. Yeah, these are light probes, yes. This is what will handle the indirect diffuse light on dynamic models. So, let me show you exactly what they do here. Let me show you. I'm going to go over to a place where I haven't placed light probes yet first. Okay. So if we, why is it getting darker here? Hold on. That shouldn't be happening. Huh. Weird. Hold up. So if we, this is a better example. We can see our model is pretty dark when we're out in the shade from the sun. But when we step into this lit area that has baked lighting, baked low resolution lighting, by the way. I haven't baked at high resolution yet. That's for later. But the model doesn't get any brighter because there's no light probes in this area right now. Once I place light probes, then the model will actually receive light and actually fit into the surroundings. In this room, I have light probes set up. So when I step out into the shade, I'm pretty dark. But when I move into the room, I get a little bit brighter. And when I step closer to the light source, which is that lamp up there, then I get even more bright. And when I get above it, I move into the dark, and yeah, and so on. It's exactly how it should be behaving. Is there... I know you can't link things in chat. Linking things in chat just gets deleted automatically, and I can't do anything about that, but... Is there anything I could look up to find those documents or references for how the math works? Yeah, I expect